Yeah, we're live.
Okay.
So, hi, I'm your host Lucy, and this is my special guest.
Hello, my name is Zeil.
So, welcome to Lingering Ghosts, third episode. So, this is also going to be a two-parter, sadly, because this is a really hefty case, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, before we get started, I do have I'm gonna announce people that won the giveaway. So. I only have their Instagrams names, so
You're just gonna read out Instagram
yeah,
account
I'm just
handles.
gonna out you. So it's going to be 90 underscore on 40.
It's not a good name. You should change that.
And we also have Gwenny and the Jets.
That's a
So
better name. That's all right.
congrats!
Yeah, good job, fellas.
Yay! You won.
Special shout out to Gwenny.
Gwenny, you like Gwenny more than
Far, way more. What's the other one? Like
90 and
90 underscore
underscore
X.
90 underscore. Let me see again. I literally just put down my phone. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I don't mean to hate on this guy, but man, you gotta change that. You're too old.
90 underscore on 40. And then we have Gwenny and the Jets. So congrats. You got free tickets. Was it the Crane Wives? I believe that's the band name. I don't know. They just told me to announce this. I'm not gonna
The
lie.
Crane Wives?
Yeah, it's like this big band.
Never heard of them.
Yeah. I don't know how many listeners they got or followers on Instagram. Let me double check. Yeah, it's with the Crane Wives. So here we go. Yeah, they have 50.5K.
I think it's pretty cool that the
Yeah.
college is even giving away concert tickets at all.
Yeah,
They can
it's
announce them
actually
over the radio.
from Paper Tiger, so they're giving out free tickets. Um I've never used Tiger. I think that's a ticketing service. So I think it's just similar to Ticketmaster or something like that. So
Gotcha.
yeah.
Okay, you ready to get into this? The case?
Yeah. So we'll be talking about oh my gosh. I can't actually read this because my screen is so dark.
You're good.
Milwaukee Cannibal or monster known as Jeffrey Dahmer. He's an American serial killer that took the lives of 17 men and boys in between 1978 and 1991. So we actually got recommended for this case by anonymous person. So thanks. Recommend case, bro. I'm gonna put a link in this description, and it's also on my Instagram and the radio. So I have a Google form actually where people can recommend like cases or anything they want to hear me talk about that's related to true crime. I actually got recommended a ghost story, but I think I might do that. It sounds interesting.
Yeah, a ghost story sounds cool, but this Jeffrey Dahmer guy sounds pretty bad. 15. What'd you say? How many people?
17.
That's like 5 people a year.
Oh, he did most of these killings within the same year.
Oh God.
Yeah. So this is, like I said, this is gonna be a two-parter. So next part, I'm going to get into where he went on a killing spree. Right. So let me see. His full name is Jeffrey Leone Dahmer. I think he got the name Leone from his father. He was born on May 21st, 1960 in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So this was in Wisconsin. And his mother was Joyce Dahmer. She was a teletype machine instructor. I didn't know what a teletype was. I thought that was just a typewriter because like it sounds like it was.
It sounds
right?
like a toy typewriter that you get for your kid.
So
a teletype.
So teletype or it's also called a teleprinter.
Also, what did you say his actual name was? Leo or
Jeffrey Leone Dahmer.
Leone is a much better name than both Jeffrey and Dahmer.
Oh my god, bro. I think he got it from his father. Maybe. I don't know. But so a teletype or a teleprinter is a communication device that allows the operator to send and receive text-based messages using a typewriter style keyboard and printed paper output. So like to understand like the basics behind it, you imagine two like typewriters to get connected together by wires or a wireless radio link, and whenever you type on one typewriter, it goes automatically to the other typewriter.
Oh, so it's like a telegram but better.
Yeah.
Instead of doing like it's like actual words.
Yeah.
Okay,
so like
that's
this is like
cool.
paper texting in a way.
That's kind of sick actually.
So like it and like these typewriters can be like at any distance thanks to wireless networking or radio transmission. So that's like super cool. So his mom was also a Norwegian and from Irish ancestry. His father, Dahmer. Oh my god.
Mm.
um, he was a Marquette University chemistry student and later a research chemist. He was from German and Welsh ancestry, and he had a younger brother named David, which Dahmer named.
I see.
Yeah. So, as a child, as a baby, it was a lot of people say he was like he was deprived of attention as an infant, while other sources say that he was really like loved as a kid. So
Oh, really?
I can't
So
really
it's like you can't really make a
I-
distinction there.
I can't tell what source is right, because like some people say, oh, like they really loved him as a kid or a baby, and then some people are like,
say,
no, they
no, they
hated
him, or
him.
like they didn't spend enough time with him.
Mhm.
Well, like if it's a serial killer, I don't think it probably mattered that much anyway.
Yeah. There are like I will make some references from previous cases that we have covered on this podcast, where there are like most of these serial killers have like similar upbringings.
Really?
Yeah,
In what way?
We'll get to. We'll get to.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a lot. Like so.
A lot of weird similarities.
So, Dahmer was described as an energetic and happy child until the age of 4. Because before his 4th birthday, he had a traumatic and painful recovery following a surgery to correct a double hernia. So a double hernia is when two like grown hernias, so like kind of like tumors, I think that's what I think.
What? Really?
Yeah, occurred on both sides of his like groin area.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so he had to get surgery for that. And so like since he's 4, that's a little kid. Like imagine how scary that is.
Yeah.
So this apparently like really affected him a lot. And so he would also develop this is like why he's so famous for like developing a fascination with animal bones and studied how to clean and preserve them.
Really?
So yeah.
When he was 4, he had this fascination. That's when it started.
Yeah. So it actually like came around when he saw his father removing animal bones beneath the family, and his father would say that Dahmer was like oddly thrilled about like
seeing the
bones,
and stuff
and like
moved.
especially the sound they make. I don't know what he means like that. I think
Like
he
the
means
sound that
like
when
they
bones
snack.
crack?
I don't know. He just said it was like he just liked the sound of bones, and Dahmer would just become like preoccupied with animal bones, and he initially called these his fiddlesticks.
His fiddlesticks.
Fiddlesticks.
Did he mess with them? Like, did he play
He
with
liked
them?
to play with them. He really did, and
Dude,
it's
that's super gross. When I was a kid, I didn't like to get like my hands like in the sand. I didn't like that.
Oh yeah, me neither. Do you have sensory issues?
I don't know about sensory issues, but there's just certain. No, it's not sand. It's like specifically, it's just one. You know, powdery stuff. Like you know when people are messing with pizza dough and you get powder on your hands. Fuck no, dude. Wait, I can't swear. Can I swear?
Oh no, you can swear, bro.
Okay, well, fuck no. I hate that feeling. Like I want to wash my hands off immediately. So I couldn't work at a
I have like
place.
crazy sensory issues, so I hate doing dishes and stuff because like I get such an ick from like doing the dishes and like the
grime and like the random stuff that just touches your finger and you have no idea what it is.
I hate it.
So you wouldn't do animal bones. You wouldn't mess with animal bones.
I would not fuck with animal bones.
Okay.
Like okay, if you see a random pile of animal bones, like I would not fuck with it.
Like,
I'll be like, hey, yo, that's a ritual. That's a ritual.
Yeah,
hey, yo, that's a cult.
And then I leave.
And compared to like these, like obviously it's like only happens in movies. I hope so, bro. Where
I don't know.
these people
totally
just
happens in real life.
where people would just mess around with them. I'm like,
are
you just trying to get cursed? Like I don't really believe in that shit, but I wouldn't mess with it. You know what I mean? You never know, bro. Oh.
Would you mess with paranormal stuff? Sorry, I don't want to get off topic, but
paranormal stuff.
Do you believe in any kind of?
I don't really believe in it, but I wouldn't fuck around with it either way.
Really? I would totally mess around with it. I don't believe in it.
Oh my god, bro! This is how you get cursed or something.
I mean,
or like oho, is that what they call it?
I don't know. I remember when I was a kid, my friend told me about I used to think it was called a Luigi board. You know, Ouija board?
Luigi board.
I thought it was called a Luigi board. And I was like, no way. Like, the Luigi board can talk to you and you can get cursed. And then my dad told me, he's like, Sean, don't mess with those because I knew a woman and she used a Ouija board and she died the next day. That's what he told me. My dad told me that. And I was a little kid.
Ouija boards aren't actually really dangerous compared to. It's just like I used to be really into witchcraft. Fun fact.
Really?
So like
you kind of struck me as someone who would have gone through a little witch phase.
So I would do a lot of research on like witchcraft and stuff, and Ouija boards aren't very dangerous if you know how to like greet them and ask polite questions. Right. If you just be rude, they'll fucking hate you for life. They'll attach to you. Really? Apparently, yes.
Okay.
But there's a thing called dowsing rods where if you turn them a certain direction. You ask them like, hey, they're used to show where water is, so they're like, oh my god, where's water?
Mhm.
And it would like point to a certain direction. But nowadays, people use dowsing rods to like for yes or no questions, like cross for yes and like
Oh,
turn
open
the other way
for
for
no.
no.
I
Yeah,
see.
yeah. But like a lot of like it's been I can't remember. It was just known to not using dowsing rods when talking to spirits because it's been known that the devil would
Mhm.
use it to point. And I was like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have a hard time believing in superstitions, but I just know like I wouldn't fuck with it
You
because I
wouldn't
don't
you
want
wouldn't
to.
find out? I
I do
would.
not want to find
I
out.
really do want to find out. I want to see what would happen.
I'll be with you, but I'm gonna have like sage. I'm gonna be like
Yeah.
cleansing the whole
Sage
room.
and garlic and like
Oh yeah. So yeah, so his fascination with animal bones,
Mhm.
right, started from just his dad, like just grabbing them out of the house, and he likes the sound of it.
Yeah.
So because of this, he would occasionally search beneath, around the family home for additional bones, and he would explore the body of living animals to discover where these bones were located. Here's the thing, right? A big red flag
Wait,
when you
who would explore the body of living animals? Dahmer?
Dahmer.
At what age?
He's still 4.
What? Okay.
Yeah. So here's the
Oh
thing.
god, that's just
As
so
as a
weird.
kid, as a kid, if my kid or if any kid you know starts killing animals or like messing around with animals,
Was he killing
that's a
animals at
red
4?
flag. We'll get to it.
Okay.
We'll get to it. So, and so moving on from this, right? He
Mhm.
was just it seemed like he was more curious about like how the
Of
structure
like
of
bodies and like
yeah
you'd be like, oh, maybe my kid's
yeah
gonna be a
he
doctor.
was
Oh, he
curious.
cares about like
Yeah,
anatomy.
yeah, that's what it was assumed at first.
Right. Because he's
So
4.
so when he was in first grade, his father, he's a chemistry student, right?
Mhm.
His studies kept him away from home a lot. So whenever Dahmer's father was home, his mother, who was a hypochondriac, so
Okay.
that's an anxiety disorder where someone has an intense fear of having a serious condition or an illness,
Oh
right?
no.
It's like germophobia to the
Times a million, and
max.
also like about like illnesses. So like you randomly wake up, and like if you have
If
a
you're
sore throat, you're like, I have
oh
cancer in my
oh
throat.
yes, but it was like really bad.
Right.
She had like she suffered from like really bad depression,
Okay.
and she was a bed rotting queen.
Oh no.
Yeah, so she would demand constant attention and spend an increasing amount of time in bed. So she did try to attempted suicide with e Equanil.
Okay.
All right. I literally put the phonetic words on how to read this because I am very bad at reading. I'm like borderline
Can I see?
dyslexic. Yes, bro. Equanil.
Equal nil.
Stop, bro.
Sorry, man. That's a.
Maria last podcast, I was being like, oh shit, how do I read this?
How do you say this? So you started putting the like. That's
Dude,
kind of
I
funny.
need a fish. It's like I need like a better way to sit. But
Yeah.
like,
It's hard to like know how the camera sees you.
oh yeah, this camera is like
It's like so like the aspect ratio is so like narrow.
I feel like if they like push the camera back more, well, it's okay. You know what? It's okay. We're already live. It's
Yeah.
okay. But yeah, maybe one day we'll have a better camera.
Yeah, or we just have like a
We're
webcam.
on a budget. We're on a budget.
Right.
The radio's kind of broke. That's why I don't get paid. Yeah, I do this for free labor. Okay, you still didn't pay me. I'm playing, bro. I'm playing, bro.
You're the radio's heart and soul.
The radio's heart and soul is crazy, bro. I just joined the radio.
But didn't it not do? Oh, you did it on podcast. You're the podcasting section of the radio's heart and soul.
Thank you, bro. I feel special. So none of like so she overdosed on Equanil, right? And
Equanil.
Equanil. Shut
Okay.
up, bro.
Yeah, keep going.
So it's like a short term like
Mm.
medication to use to treat symptoms of anxiety and nervousness.
Okay.
Cause like I
And
guess she had anxiety as well.
So she tried to overdose on it.
She overdosed on it, and I
Okay.
guess it didn't work because she's still alive.
All right.
She's still kicking. So none of like Dahmer's parents, because of like Dahmer's dad always being in college and
Mhm.
like studying in school, and his mom going through like severe depression.
Right.
They didn't really devote much time for their son. That's why some sources believe that he was like deprived of
Yeah, of like parental guidance
as
in,
as a baby.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or like going from like toddler age to like middle school age.
Oh, he was. It was for sure he was deprived of attention at that age. But
Mhm.
like a lot of people are saying
Oh,
as
in
a
his like
baby to
early
yeah,
childhood.
as his
I
early
gotcha.
childhood. People are like, oh, he was really loved, and some people are like, oh no, he was like really like
Yeah.
he wasn't really cared for that much. So I don't really know because the law sources say different shit.
Right. But in adolescence,
Mhm.
he wasn't getting enough a lot of attention.
So it said Dahmer said at an early age he felt unsure of the solidity of his family, recalling extreme tension and numerous arguments between his parents during his early years. So in elementary school, this is the same thing. What? What's up?
That's not that bad. Like my parents
Yeah.
divorced when they were like I was like in first grade and they yelled all the time. I'm chilling.
Yeah, I feel like a
I
lot of
didn't
people
kill
just
anyone like at all.
yeah. So I was actually talking to someone about this earlier.
Hmm.
Psychopaths are not all killers. Psychopaths are not all killers. I'm not saying I'm a psychopath.
Hmm.
Maybe I am. I don't know.
A psychopath. I think
But
that like you mean a sociopath? Because to be defined as a psychopath, I think you have to commit a crime. You have to commit a violent crime.
no, actually, sociopaths and psychopaths are similar, but like the definition is different. Psychopath, if we're talking in psychology, it just means that you're. If I put this in really simple terms, psychology people are gonna come after me for this, but it's where you just don't have very good social skills
Like
and like
antisocial
empathy.
personality disorder.
Yes, like stuff like that. Right? Those
Gotcha.
are like very similar, just like a little different. I forget how. I haven't taken psychology in a while, okay, bro?
I know that like sociopaths are like are kind of they're not insane, and a
Uh
lot of the time they can be
yeah.
high functioning and they can like even if they don't have
Yeah.
entirely empathy, they can like kind of
Same with
blend in
psychopaths.
with other people
Yeah, yeah.
if they really want
So
to. But sometimes they
that's
don't care about blending in with other people.
exactly.
And another
That's
thing I
the
found out
thing.
that was kind of interesting was like once I was reading a book about it, and like the section for like treatment of sociopath and
Uh-huh.
like psychopathy and sociopathy is like really short because there is no treatment. Because
Yeah,
people that
there is
have
though.
sociopathy and psychopathy don't think that what they have is a disadvantage for them at all. Like they think that
Exactly.
everyone else is weird for not being like them, and like
Exactly.
they don't see the other side of it. And like in a way you can kind of understand that because
Mhm.
they don't care about anyone else. So like
It
everything
could
they
be their
do is
brain
entirely,
chemistry too.
yeah.
They could have been like,
Maybe they're
let's.
like hardwired in survival mode. They're like, well, I don't need
Mhm.
to care about what any of these people think. I just need to get whatever I want right now, and
Yeah,
I
yeah,
want
yeah.
to do this, so I'm
Same,
going to
same
do
with
this.
psychopaths. So that's why I'm saying psychopaths are not all killers.
Hmm.
It's just these people with like certain, like like even if you go through the same things as they did,
Yeah.
it's everybody
Everybody, like everyone's
like
brain is differently. It's like how
no,
everyone
yeah,
reacts to things differently.
yeah,
Everyone like it's
exactly.
kind of like how like autism is a spectrum, so psychopathy, and so is
Hmm.
everything that happens to your brain is a spectrum. So like he's
Exactly.
probably just on like a really extreme set of like how some people are depressed. Like he'd
Yeah.
be like the equivalent of like borderline like suicidal, like really
Yeah,
depressed,
yeah,
like chronic
exactly.
for his entire
Or you
life.
just have seasonal depression. Like there's such a wide range of
Yeah,
these
but
things, bro.
yeah, that's true.
So that's why like I'm saying that like especially I was talking about this earlier. Not all gay people are serial killers.
Yeah.
It's just a coincidence.
Really? Are there a
Yeah.
lot of gay serial killers?
We have been talking about kind of gay serial killers so far.
Mm.
Um,
Is Jeffrey
well,
Dahmer a gay serial killer?
he is a gay serial killer. He's only killed
That's
men and boys.
spoiler. Oh yeah, you just said at the beginning. I thought that was kind of weird
Yeah.
because normally
Oh, I didn't
normal
even tell
like
them the disclaimer. Disclaimer. I forgot. This case will contain pedophilia, cannibalism, necrophilia, mutilation of body parts, and more.
oh god, dude, that's
Yeah. So if you can't handle these topics, please go take care of yourself and join us on the next session. We have weekly sessions at Wednesday. If you're here, you know.
yeah.
So man, I
But if
forgot
it's
to
a
put that.
part two, it'll probably be the same, just more of the same next week.
It is so in the next
Yeah.
next week.
For the next week, you guys can come
Yes.
back.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. So his so we will later actually find out what he is diagnosed with.
Hmm.
So, um, yeah, as a kid, I'm just saying if you see any kid kill animals at a young age or harm animals,
You should probably
red
say something.
flag.
You should probably do something.
You should take them to a psychiatrist because that is a common. So there's three common factors. I've actually talked to us about this before.
Uh huh.
There are three common things with serial killers and like all these people that commit these big crimes
Right.
have in common. They and or have killed animals or
Okay.
harmed animals, or they have had a traumatic surgery or incident that affected them, like their brain chemically, right?
Really? A traumatic
Hmm.
surgery or incident? Is surgery kind
Surgery.
of
Jeffrey Dahmer had a
common?
traumatic
Is there anyone
surgery.
else?
Um, traumatic injury. I know there's this one killer. I forgot which one. He fell off a swing set and he just had a concussion, and that shit like changed him.
Really?
Yeah, that just changed his whole personality. Apparently, his parents were like, "Yeah, he was not the same after that falling off the swing."
Really?
Yeah,
That's crazy.
I
That's
need
like
to find it.
Goku.
I
That's like
need
Goku
to
when he hit
find
his head
it.
on the floor and
Goku.
forgot that he was a Saiyan and was a
Geico. Why was I
murderer.
saying? I was about to say Geico for a second.
No, not the guy who
I mean
Goku.
Goku. I was like, fuck, bro. Why is it? Why was I saying Geico? Anyways, the third one. It sounds funny, but
Mhm.
it is a big thing. Wetting your bed, continuously wetting your bed.
Really?
Yeah, it's a sign of stress. It's a really big sign of stress.
I guess that makes sense. And I guess serial killers
It's
would be
hard to
kind of stressed.
explain. Yeah. So, like I said earlier, he wasn't really sure about the solidity of his family. And so elementary school, he was regarded as a quiet and timid kid.
Mhm.
What I don't know what's up with these like serial killers being quiet and timid
Well,
during their school years.
it's probably just because like their
Yeah.
brain is so different and so
Yeah.
like hardwired in a
Mhm.
completely different way than everyone else. Like these are they don't know how to socialize. I bet like I've heard a lot of
Yeah,
people
none
talk
of
about
them
this.
really know how to socialize. Like the ones I've talked about so far, they had like no friends.
Yeah,
And they just didn't have any social groups. They were like a loner and they were considered quotation marks below average.
like intelligence or
Not
like just like
intelligence wise, but like just as a person, they were just considered below average.
I see.
And
So
so it's
just
like,
in their childhood, they
man,
just weren't very important or like very like they were kind of a wallflower. Like they didn't really do anything.
yeah. Personal Wallflower. I watched that
I love
recently.
that movie.
Kira made me watch it, bro. And I was like, holy fuck. But it's sad reading this, but like when I'm not saying their backstories or their trauma is an excuse for these
Yeah,
crimes. It is never an excuse because, like we were talking about earlier, you can gone through these exact experiences
yeah, and
and
not end
not
up
be a
like that.
serial killer and not be someone that's like just not like
Yeah, who would
someone that's
kill
evil.
animals?
Yeah, or like quotation marks someone that's evil, I
Yeah,
guess. So that's why like I feel bad, but I'm like, man, but this dude has when we get into the cases,
because like
it's really sick.
the difference is just that like no one ever that is not Jeffrey Dahmer would ever understand what it is like to think and live inside the
Yeah.
brain of Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah.
Like except for him, like no one
Hmm.
understands why he would do the things he did. But to everything that to him, if you were him and you were born in his brain and you did
Mm.
everything that happened, you do the
I
same
feel like
thing.
it's interesting talking about like what makes them act like this.
It's
Like it's a big thing in nature versus nurture too, because
yeah,
it's like wow.
yeah. Like what could the argument be like? Because like on one hand, it's like okay, well, what happened to this guy? But on another hand, like you have to think this Jeffrey Dahmer probably just was born with some kind of crazy mental disorder. Like being a serial
Mm.
killer, like to be able to think like that is just completely unlike how normal people think, or like how
Yeah.
most people can even like think. Even if you try to think like that, most people can't. They feel too bad, or like there's just a part of them that just doesn't let them. But for
Mhm.
people who are born without that, well, then like it's a completely different case.
Mhm.
You just don't
So
know.
yeah, so in elementary school, his teachers also said they recalled detecting early signs of abandonment due to his father's absence and his mother's illness, right?
Okay.
And so this will actually these symptoms will increase. So and it increased also due to his mother being pregnant with her second son, which was David, right?
Okay.
And so in elementary school, he had very few friends, and then he would move in October 1966 to Ohio.
Mm,
This was when he was around 6 years old, and then his mother would give birth to his brother David, right? So in that same year, his father will earn his degree and will start working as an analytical chemist,
okay.
and then they tend to move a lot, by the way. So then in May 1968, so like 2-ish years later,
He got a different job.
no, they moved down to a different city in Ohio called
Hmm.
Bath Township's Summit Country. So this will be their third address in 2 years.
Okay.
And Dahmer's six like his parents' sixth address since marriage. So they move like a
How old is
lot.
he right now?
He should be like
Because my parent, like when I was a kid,
8.
my parents moved a lot.
8. He's 8. He's
Like
8 now.
in like the third grade, I moved to Germany and
Oh shit,
the
that's
UK, and then back to Texas, all within the span of like 3 years. And like that was super tough because I met like new people each time. But then like
yeah.
it made me get a lot better at talking to people in real life because I
Mhm.
had to like do it so much. But like I can say for sure, like as a kid, it kind of does mess you up, especially after like the
Yeah,
first
cuz
move
like
messed me up because
you
like I was like,
can
what the hell? Like everything's so
yeah,
different. All my friends are gone,
you can't like
and he didn't even have any friends. before
Oh.
too, and now it's like even the people that he did know, all of them gone too.
Yeah, I actually moved well, not a lot as a kid. It was just like when I used to live in Cali. Oh no,
That
Cali
makes sense.
kid.
That makes a lot of sense.
No, I was born here. I just moved to Cali like in first grade, and I moved back in third grade because um I just hated Cali.
You hated Cali?
I hate Cali.
Really?
I had a lot. I got bullied as a kid in Cali.
For what?
I was just really isolated as a kid, like trauma dump.
No.
So teachers would try to make me to like have friends who will be like, oh my god, hang
Uh-huh.
out with them, and they'll like be there until the teacher leaves, and then they'll
Really?
leave me.
Why would the teachers do
Like
that?
I was a kid that when I show up, my aura was just too awesome. I
Yeah.
show up to like the swing set and
Uh-huh.
everyone leaves.
That's so. Yeah, man. It's because your aura.
Yeah, they felt like my aura was just too
They fucked with you a
strong.
lot, but heavy. But they just couldn't show it, and they had to leave.
But yeah, so I understand like the trauma of moving because I was like alone there.
Mhm.
So um yeah, so at this new house,
Mhm.
right? At Dahmer's new house, it was a short walk from his house. There was a little hut.
Mhm.
And so this is where he would collect large insects and skeletons of small animals, such as chipmunks and squirrels. So he would preserve these in jars of formaldehyde and
Mhm.
store them in the hut. So do you know what formaldehyde is?
Isn't it like a? It's like a chemical. Isn't it supposed to like kill stuff? Kill something?
It is a substance made from carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, and it's a colorless, strong-smelling, flammable chemical produced industrially, and it's used in building materials such as particle board, plywood, and other like pressed wood products.
Oh, okay.
It's commonly used as a fungicide, germicide, disinfectant, and as a per- preservative for mortuaries and medical laboratories. So if you see those jars
Uh-huh.
of like any
Stuff in them. It has formaldehyde.
like any animals, like the little jelly looking animals, it
Yeah.
might be formaldehyde.
Because it's what it's used to preserve them.
Mm-hmm. So it's commonly used as a preservative most of the time though, and you can use it to preserve dead bodies from decaying.
Gotcha.
So fun fact, I swear to God, there's an FBI watching me, bro, because of what I've done to like look up
Oh
these
no, yeah,
cases.
formaldehyde. What does formaldehyde do? What can I do with formaldehyde? How do I get formaldehyde?
Yeah, so you can buy this on Amazon actually.
Really?
$20 for like this big of a jar.
Hmm.
So I'm like,
So,
holy
if
fuck.
any serial killers are listening to this,
Oh
now
no,
you know. But
Jeffrey Dahmer
I
murder
recommend you don't
kit.
do
I
it.
don't recommend this. Like, there, Amazon's gonna see your shopping cart with
Yeah, you'll
formaldehyde,
be on a watch list.
rope, knife, or something. They'll be like, "Oh shit, bro, what is bro cooking?"
Yeah.
And so, all right, he would just. I don't know why he liked collecting these bones. Like he's just a silly little kid. So 2 years later, this is during a chicken dinner, by the
Okay.
way. Dahmer would ask his father, "What would happen if chicken bones were placed in bleach?" And
How old was he?
2 years later, so
10?
10. Yeah,
Okay.
I should.
What would happen if chicken bones were placed in bleach?
So his father, he's a chemist, right?
Uh-huh.
He's like, "Ah, shit. He must be scientifically curious."
Oh
That's
no.
what he
My
thought.
child is a
He thought
genius.
he thought Dahmer was like gonna be a chemist or something,
Yeah.
or like something big like that. It's, oh my god, my son is going to be a genius.
Yeah.
Let's go. And he was like, he showed Dahmer how to safely bleach and preserve animal bones, and
Whoa.
he would incorporate these techniques in his
Uh-huh.
bone collecting. The same year, sorry.
No, you're good.
Oh my god, bro. This is like I'm trying to fit in the camera and you're
Yeah.
also trying to fit.
Sorry.
Bro. So the same year, Dahmer's mother increased her daily consumption of Equanil, laxatives, and sleeping pills. So this like increased her emotional distance from the family.
Uh-huh.
Um, I don't know, man. His mom, I feel bad for his mom. Like her husband isn't home all the time.
Mhm.
But like you have a son and kids, you gotta take care of them too. Like,
Well, I mean, she's probably like, if her mom is super like mentally like, if she has a lot of mental problems, she probably gave some of those to Dahmer. like runs in the family of like mental illness.
that is a big thing in nature versus nurture, because like some people are like, oh, is this like?
Do you know if any more of Dahmer's family had like mental illnesses, like grandmother, grandfather?
His grandmother was actually really sweet, like a super nice person.
A very nice lady.
Very nice lady, from what I've
Maybe it skips
read.
generations. What if it was the great grandmother that was also crazy?
I honestly don't know. It is interesting. I do want to look into like
The
stuff like
lineage
that.
there?
Yeah, because like, sometimes it can be like hereditary.
Yeah.
But
Sometimes it can also just like
be it
happen.
in the environment or like the way they were raised and stuff like that too. That's why nature versus nurture is such
it's
a
always
big
both.
argument.
Like it's always a little bit of both.
It could be always a little bit of both. Yeah,
it's just hard to say which one is having more of an effect, or like what part of his childhood made him like this, or what maybe it was a
what
mental
was his
illness.
his big turning point.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of like big turning points in here actually. Well, we'll get to them at some point.
Wait, bleach.
So yeah, he would use bleach to preserve like these bones, right? And so he would start. Then it increased it from not just collecting bones. He would start collecting dead animals, including roadkill, which he would dissect and bury near the hut, where he kept all like his little like, I don't want to say
he
trinkets.
Would dissect roadkill. That's pretty weird.
Or like dead animals in general, but mainly roadkill. So so with the skulls of these animals, he would place them on makeshift crosses. I don't know. I don't know why he did that.
Do you think maybe he thought about it? Like maybe they were like a tomb or for it, like symbolically?
No, he didn't really care like that. He was just interested in dissecting them. He just put them on a cross. And so he would explain that he was just curious how animals fit together. But like the cross part is a little confusing.
Yeah, that's really weird.
So in
because that just looks scary. Like imagine if you saw that, like that wouldn't be like, oh, he's like, you wouldn't think like, oh, this guy's a chemist, or like you wouldn't think like, oh, he just really likes animals. Just like, what the fuck? Why is he doing this?
So when he was 15 years old, so this was like 1975, Dahmer would decapitate the carcass of a dog before nailing the body to a tree, impaling the skull on a stick in the woodlands behind his house. Like, dude, there's seriously there's a I'm telling you, there's a pattern with these serial killers. If your kid or you yourself are being abusive to animals, there is a pattern. You're insane.
There is a thing. I feel like I read about this before. In kids, there's like a point where a lot of kids become interested in like really violent things. I know me, and I've also heard other people talk about this, like attest to a point, like maybe like in their child, for the way it came out with me, like when I discovered like, oh wow, like there's so much blood and guts and like it's crazy, it looks crazy. I watched like on YouTube like Sonic versus Mario animations of Sonic just killing Mario in like a really brutal way.
That's giving that like, My Little Pony like
yeah, I know, it's that one. It's that one, but like for boys, like the boy version of that. And like except I watched that one too. I think a lot of people watch that one. That's just a really popular. I feel like a lot of people have seen it.
But I don't know why I watched it. I was like, it was so interesting for some reason.
And I know some people like it goes further than that. Like I knew a guy like when I was a kid. My dad told me about this friend that he had when he was younger, like back, Kurt Cobain, or like, it was like one of these like famous talk show guys who like killed himself one day. It might have been Kurt Cobain. And basically this kid always watched the talk show of him. Like he watched him every single night. And then when he heard that he killed himself, he drew a picture of Kurt Cobain hanging himself in a bathroom with a big, like in red marker, like shithead, like on the bathroom or something, like something crazy. And like the kid eventually like, and he also really liked Mortal Kombat and like he loved like the violence in it. But like a year or two after this event, he was a completely normal person. Like he would never do something like that again.
Yeah,
so I feel like the dog thing, like nailing the dog, it feels like so unbelievably cruel and crazy. Like it feels like out of the head of like a kid in that state of mind.
But I feel like there is a certain point where like most kids would be like, hey, this is really freaky and weird.
Yeah,
like, we watched.
They grow out. Yeah, we didn't like actually. At no point was I like.
But like Jeffrey Dahmer didn't. Well, he couldn't really
watch it. He started off just kind of being interested. Like he started off with the bone thing and like touching animals. Like he wasn't killing animals immediately.
I wasn't really monitored as a kid on like online.
Me neither.
So, I watched. That's why I'm a little silly. So yeah, that's why. Maybe it's because like I feel like at a certain age we knew what was right and wrong,
Yeah.
and so
Like I
I don't
knew,
know.
I think at no point, like when I was old enough to know what other people were and other people's feelings, at no point was I like, I want to nail a dog like
Yeah,
skin to a tree.
yeah.
But like, I don't know, it just feels like that kind of hyper violence that maybe like I just find it interesting that like normal people kind of have that slightly, but like it's like for Dahmer it like never went away. Like that state of mind
Yeah, it
persisted
just.
for his entire life.
What? I'm sorry. I had
You're
3 hours
good.
of sleep, bro.
I didn't sleep that. I slept for 6 hours. I didn't.
Oh,
You're
you
kind of
slept good. You
crazy.
slept good.
No. Okay, keep going.
Sorry.
No, you're good. You got me.
So basically, he as a prank,
Okay.
Dahmer would later invite a friend to view this display, claiming he discovered the remains by chance. Little bro, what do you mean you discovered the remaining by chance?
Well, like, I guess if I was a 10-year-old and my 10-year-old best friend was like, dude, look what I found, and I saw that, I wouldn't think my 10-year-old friend did that.
I'll be like,
I'd be like, what the hell? Like, who would do this? Who does this thing? Like, but so clearly he knew it was wrong.
mhm,
Otherwise, he would have said, look
mhm,
what I did.
mhm. I also feel like thinking back on earlier, when it comes to pets,
Mhm.
I feel like most kids wouldn't try to be violent to pets, if especially if you have a pet yourself.
Well, okay.
Oh my god.
When I was like, my dad told me, I don't remember, I don't have any recollection of this, but when I was like less than 4 years old, like when I was just learning to walk, my dad told me that one time I grabbed a cat by the tail because I didn't know, like I didn't know what a cat was. I didn't know, like I was 4. Okay,
Yeah.
I was a
Okay,
4 year
that
old
makes
child.
sense.
I threw it, but like I feel so bad about that. Like I don't
Yeah.
even recognize the cat anymore. But like I know there is like it's like the state of mind. The only way you could do that is if you're in the state of mind of like this thing doesn't matter to me at all. This thing isn't a real thing. I don't care about it at all. And that's like what serial killers kind of exist in because they don't
Mhm.
care about the animals. They don't care about the animals. They don't care that they're hurting it. Clearly, they don't care that they're hurting it.
Yeah, I feel like at the age of 15, Dahmer should have
Yeah.
known.
But he never saw the animal how you and I see animals, like
Yeah,
ever.
exactly. That's why it is. I
And he
really
doesn't.
like to
And
dig into
he
it
would
because, like,
think we were
why?
weird. Like I think he
Yeah.
would think other people are like maybe. I'm sure at some point when he got older, like when he became an adult, he was like, "Well, no one else in the entire world thinks like this. It's just me." But at that point, he
He
still didn't
was.
think like he just can't see it the other way.
Yeah, makes sense.
That's a
So,
weird.
yeah, he's just a little freak. It's
Yeah, it's a really weird to
okay.
think about.
So, at the age of 14,
Mm,
14,
okay.
he would start drinking, and he would drink like hard alcohol and beer. So I feel like that also greatly affected his
Yeah, his
brain
mental
chemistry.
state. Yeah, because like drinking heavy, even as an
Yeah.
adult, makes you dumber. Like
Yeah.
every 5 years, like this study's on
Yeah,
it, like you
and
go down.
obviously your frontal lobe hasn't been fully developed
It
as
hasn't even
well.
really started at 14. Like you're just
Yeah.
starting puberty. You're just hitting
Oh
puberty.
god. And so he would actually frequently conceal liquor
It's still better
inside
than
his
reels though. Like I
jacket.
would recommend you to start drinking heavy at 14 than start watching reels ever. Like reels is still worse for you, and like trust me. Anyway,
Bro,
keep
you're saying
going.
from traumas?
No, I'm just saying. No, I don't watch reels. Everyone else watches reels. That's why I know it's worse for you.
So he would actually frequently, actually, not repeatedly, frequently conceal his liquor inside his jacket and wear to
Hmm.
school. So his classmate was like, "Bro, why are you drinking scotch
Yeah,
in
at
the
14,
morning?" In
14 years
morning,
old. Like you're in middle. Like how old are you? You're 14. You just got freshman year of high school. You're doing like maybe
he
algebra.
was like, "Why are you drinking scotch in our morning history class?"
Yeah.
Morning
Like
history.
what are you doing, dude?
Yeah, I guess that history be hit it too hard. And Dahmer said, "This is my medicine."
Well, I can kind of understand that because, like, imagine like if you're Dahmer, like, if your head is constantly the craziest, worst place in the entire world that makes you want to kill animals and like kill things and not give it like and be super lonely and not know how to socialize. I can understand why like something kind of numbing, like a numbing agent, like a
Yeah.
drug or some kind of mind altering
Yeah.
chemical would feel really great to you.
Yeah, yeah, of course. I get that too because like there
But that's
are
crazy that at 14 he was in so much he
yeah.
was so distraught that he had to like bring Scotch to history class. Like,
Oh
dude,
yeah.
I don't think you're learning about the American Revolution. Like you gotta calm down.
Yeah, I get it. I could see. I'm not saying it's okay to do
Yeah.
that.
But I'm saying
It's
like it
but I could see I can
you can
understand.
see where he's coming from a little
Yeah,
bit. Like if you were
that's why I
crazy,
like talking about these true crime podcasts because like
mhm,
I could see a bit. I want to see a bit more where they're coming from, even though it's not excusable.
yeah. Like obviously like what they like for me it's more just a curiosity of like the psychology behind it. Like, what
Yeah,
made this person?
exactly,
Why do they think the
exactly.
way that they do?
That's why I
What
love
were they
talking about
thinking
it.
when they brought scotch? And that's probably what they were thinking.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
hate my head. I hate myself. I hate my brain. I am going to drown it out with this scotch.
Or
That makes
like
sense.
that's also the fact that he probably just like his family life probably got worse,
Yeah.
which it does actually. Um, so he was disengaged, tense, and like largely friendless in
Mhm.
high school. So I don't know what's with these killers being antisocial, but I'm not saying every antisocial person is a serial killer. It's just like it's kind of sad. It's a little
Yeah.
upsetting. Like maybe what if he had like a better social
Yeah. Or if
circle?
he had
Because like
some
you
person to
do
talk to.
learn from like the people around
Yeah, you learn
you.
a lot from the people around you how to behave.
Exactly.
Like it's like one of the
Exactly.
most important facets that a human being possesses. It's like the ability to learn from other people. You're supposed to become like integrate in groups, talk to them, find out what they like and don't like, learn how to
Exactly.
behave, clean up your trash because people will get mad at you if you don't. Don't be mean to people because people will get
Hmm.
mad at you if you don't. Don't kill people because people don't like that. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
And you don't learn
And
any
then
of
like
this.
these social, and then like because they don't have these social circles, they don't have people to also kind of help them
Yeah.
stay in line,
Yeah.
quote
Because like
unquote, or
because
like.
literally everyone has thoughts like things that they want to do that would be completely socially unacceptable.
Hmm.
But you still want to do them.
Yeah, and also like peer pressure is a big thing too. So like they
Yeah.
could peer pressure you out of doing, but hey, who
Yeah,
the?
because there's bad peer pressure and there's important peer pressure. Like
Mhm.
if you're going to college and you see everyone else around you studying, like working hard at their
Yeah, and
major
then you're
for
like,
the exam that
damn,
they're paying
bro.
for, you're like, damn, I paid for this. I gotta lock in a little bit. That's good peer
Yeah.
pressure. But like
Mm.
Jeffrey Dahmer probably like if you're never talking to anybody, if you're never paying
Mhm.
attention, if you're constantly disengaged, there's nothing. You're isolated entirely.
Exactly. So throughout, all the staff said Dahmer was actually like polite and highly intelligent, but
Hmm.
he earned average to below average grades.
Right.
But Dahmer was a competitive tennis player and briefly played in his high school band, which was I was like,
That's
oh.
really good. He should have done more of that stuff.
Hmm. So, but when he reached puberty, he discovered he was gay. So he probably felt more isolated
Yeah, especially
because
because
this
this
was
is like what
back then.
19 what
He's 14. So 1954.
plus 14, 1968.
No, he was born in 1960.
He was born in
So
1960.
1960 plus 14. What the?
You put 1996.
Oh, whoopsies.
1960
1960.
plus 15 is just 1975.
Yeah. I can't do math right now, bro.
It's
I'm
okay.
all mathed out.
I just
Uh,
went to pre-calculus, so I got math on the brain.
that's all you can think about.
Yeah. Well, I like math. Math is good.
I like math only if I don't gotta think too
I
hard.
gotcha.
Cause like sometimes I just can't. I don't want to think right now.
So he's a gay 14-year-old in 1974.
Yeah, he discovered he was gay
That
and he
sucks
didn't tell his parents.
balls.
I don't know if his parents were conservative or not, but there's
Yeah.
a high
I mean,
chance they
if he didn't
were.
tell them, like they probably were. I mean, it's 1974
But he
in
wasn't really
America.
close with his parents, by the way,
Yeah. Also
too.
that.
Yeah. So I'm just assuming they're conservative
So
because
he got all the trauma of like being a gay person and like not being able to talk about it from everyone and like probably feeling kind of weird. Were his parents religious?
I don't know. I didn't see it. Never really talked about them being religious, but I can assume they were conservative because
Yeah.
this was back. This was a white family.
I mean,
One,
even just growing
this
up
was
in like
back then,
the 70s.
and this was in Ohio.
Yeah, everyone's really religious. So
So,
he definitely got the religious trauma stuff.
so he would often. This is where it gets a little scary. He would often fantasize about dominating and controlling a completely submissive male partner in his early to mid teens. So this fantasy would actually take a
Manifests itself.
take a dark turn to he wants his partner to be completely unconscious throughout like the sexual intercourse, like just knocked out cold.
Really?
And then it turns to necrophilia because they're dead. They can't do anything. I guess I don't really know about the unconscious part, like where it started, but it was just interesting. So he would masturbate to these fantasies, and he would gradually start focusing on dudes' chests and torso. Like he was obsessed with like yeah,
How it
dudes.
looked?
Yeah, yeah. I
Okay.
feel like you're like covering yourself up. You're
Well,
like,
I don't know.
oh, oh.
Just thinking.
You're just, but this fantasy obviously like became intertwined with dissection too.
Okay.
So this is like how we
It's like it's all
know
coming full circle.
it is. So when he was 16, he had fantasies about rendering a particular
That
male
actually
jog.
that actually makes perfect sense because like 13, 14 is like your puberty. That's when you start kind of having
Freak
freak
dreams,
thoughts, freak
freak
thoughts.
thoughts.
And it's like everybody has freak thoughts,
Yeah.
but
Well, I feel like
those
okay.
are a little freaky, even for like the freaks in the room. I think.
Yeah. It is not as freaky as a case we did last time. Jerome Henry Brudos. He was the shoe fetish killer.
The shoe fetish killer.
He was
Did he cut off
a
people's feet?
absolutely god awful woman wearing high heels. He
Wait,
just liked high heels.
I see.
He had a shoe fetish, not a foot fetish, shoe fetish.
That's really weird.
And he had a fetish for a woman's underwear too.
Okay. Well, that's really weird. Okay, that's pretty bad. That's a little worse.
But-
Well, I don't know actually. Then Jeffrey Dahmer, I think Jeffrey Dahmer's
I
a
feel
little
like
worse.
I can't even rate these people on the worst scale.
Yeah, there's no
There's
like,
like-
you can just they're all bad. Like this is all pretty weird. Don't do any of that stuff.
They'll do anything. I actually knew someone. I was talking to Maria about this during the podcast. I know
Mhm.
someone that has a combat boot fetish and an underwear fetish.
You know someone? Real life?
He was an actual freak.
Gotcha.
Like
Name? Full name? I'm just kidding.
full name is crazy. I blocked him everywhere because I was like, oh my god,
probably
I
good call.
can't.
Did
Because
he talk to you about it a lot? Like, did he like talking about it? Like, he's like, dude, you'll never believe this.
he was hitting on me, and he talked about how much he wanted to be dominated
Okay.
by. Yeah.
Okay, I understand.
Maybe this is for later. This is for later.
Okay.
Lucy lore. We're getting a lot of Lucy lore today. So when Dahmer was like 16, he fantasized about rendering a particular jogger he sees, and they found it attractive unconscious.
Uh-huh.
So Dahmer, for this one time, Dahmer hid in the bushes with a baseball bat, waiting for this dude to pass by. And thank God that jogger did not pass by that day, because Dahmer would have knocked him cold.
That's
Like,
crazy.
So
Why?
he later admitted this was his first attempt to attack and render an individual under
Unconscious?
his submission.
He's like 17? Or how old is he? 15?
16.
16.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so like the moment he hit puberty, it was just over. Because then he became
Everything just increased it to a tenfold.
Yeah, that's usually when they stop being timid. Is like puberty. That's when they start. That's when they go from being timid and like
To
weird
Freakmeister.
kid to like evil. Is like when they're teenagers.
Evil.
Yeah, dude. That's like
You went through your evil phase.
Well, like no, I'm saying like with people like I mean I think most kids are not like you can't really. It's hard to be an evil kid. Like to be a really evil kid, like because you're just so innocent. Like you wouldn't say like you wouldn't say that like a wolf eating a rabbit is evil, right? Because it's doing what it knows to do. That's like what you are from like 0 to like I don't know, probably 10. Like whenever you like start getting your brain and it's like, whoa, I'm a person. Like that's when you can start being evil. Like even like that's when you can even begin. Because like Dahmer wasn't evil until he was like 16. That's not important. That's a spam call.
Oh.
Don't worry about it.
Okay. So, yeah, and he was just a little.
Yeah, he's a freak.
So he was known in high school by his peers as a class clown.
Mm-hmm.
Clown. That's our next case. Hint, hint.
Hint.
If you know what I'm talking about, clown. I just say that word and people are gonna know.
I'm thinking it's the clown killer guy, like the really, like.
I'm not gonna say names.
Okay,
So
anyway.
that's a spoiler.
Yeah,
That's a
you're
spoiler.
right.
But I just say clown and people are gonna know. You just gotta figure it out. Well, you can't know if you're next guess.
Okay.
But
I won't do it. I won't.
You start mewing.
Yeah.
So his first attempt to oh shit. Whoops, I jumped backwards.
Yeah. Well, he's 16.
He's
He's
a class he's a
class clown.
He's a class clown. So he often plays stage pranks and it became known as doing a Dahmer.
Doing a Dahmer?
Doing a Dahmer.
Because he did so many stage pranks. Maybe he was a prankster because like even when he was a kid, he was like, dude, look what I found.
But that was like one time. Well, that's the only one we know. But like,
yeah,
still, huh?
There's definitely a lot more stories that definitely just never get said.
So this would include whining, stimulating seizures, and cerebral palsy in school and local stores. So cerebral palsy is
he pretended to like do like the like Stephen Hawking or like Julius
Oh, so you know what
Caesar.
it is? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So like,
that's kind of messed up. But it was also 1974. I feel like they were probably
yeah,
or 76.
he would prefer these performances. We'll say
Okay.
that for money to purchase alcohol. This dude, he's a hardcore alcohol. I've never seen anyone so
Yeah.
hardcore to alcohol, but Jeffrey Dahmer. I was reading this. I was like, how many times have I seen the word alcohol?
Yeah, like and then he started drinking, and then like it's I don't know, man. That's why
It
you
just
shouldn't
went
drink.
down
Don't
here.
drink.
To drink. If you do, drink responsibly
Yeah.
at the age of 21. The way you looked at me, don't look at me, bro. Hey, I'm drinking. I only drink when my parents are around. Hey. Uh-uh. Uh-uh.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay,
bro.
so
Hey, they
what?
gave me the
So
wine.
okay, before we expose ourselves, what did he do? He's class clown, alcohol.
Yeah, to buy alcohol.
Okay.
So, in 1977, so this was when he was 17. So he was in his junior or senior year. Uh, Dahmer's parents would hire a private tutor because his grades started to decline like crazy.
Right.
And that same year, his parents would also attend counseling sessions in an attempt to save their marriage. So,
Only starting now.
yeah, I'm only starting now.
And they said that like even when he was a kid, they thought they were probably really bad.
It's really
Like
bad.
just even like those two details, they were probably really terrible partners for one another.
Oh yeah, I don't even know how.
I got lucky because my parents were terrible partners, but like they broke up before I turned 1, so like they were like already kind of separate and like doing their own thing, so it didn't really matter. They should have done that. They should have went that route. Maybe things would have been a
Yeah.
little better.
Well, okay, back then it was
Oh, they didn't get divorced back then.
divorce was a really like bad thing back then. Still to this day, a lot of people don't like divorce.
Yeah. Well, like divorce rate now is like 50%. Back then it
Yeah.
was like closer to 30 or something. It was
Yeah,
low.
it was very like looked down upon.
Yeah.
So, his father would actually find out that his wife had been engaging in a brief affair in September of
Oh
that same
no.
year, and this caused Dahmer's parents to get a divorce. And so this divorce process became like really bitter. So his dad actually moved out the house in 1978. So that's like a year later. And he would temporarily reside in a motel in North Cleveland. So North Cleveland. That's still in Ohio.
That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad.
So in May 1978, Dahmer graduated from high school.
Okay.
Right.
Who's 18 now?
He's 18 now.
Dang,
Yeah.
dude, he's our age.
He's our age in this point of the story. So, a few weeks from his graduation, one of his teachers saw Dahmer sitting close to the school parking lot, drinking several cans of beer. In a school parking lot is crazy, bro. Like first
Dang,
he
does
hid
not
this
give a shit.
alcohol. Yeah, he hid this alcohol. Now he's just drinking out there.
It's probably because like when his grades started tanking, that's probably when he just stopped caring about school. Like he
Yeah,
knew that it wasn't.
no, or like he just really it just really got to him like, man, I should give up for real,
Yeah.
for real.
Mm-hmm.
Then I know
Because he had no friends. His parents are getting a divorce. His dad doesn't live with
not
him.
really either. Yeah.
He was drinking scotch at 14, and so he's been drinking alcohol heavy for 3 years. He probably can't feel too good, mentally. Like imagine like you're going through puberty and your brain's trying to do everything that, like it's trying to grow for the next 10 years straight, and then like you're constantly drunk the entire time while it's trying to grow.
God,
That would
bro,
you're cooked. Like
you're actually cooked.
He was completely cooked. That's probably why his grades started dropping. Actually, maybe he didn't even stop trying. His brain couldn't do it.
His brain probably couldn't do it no more. It stopped working. So his teacher threatened to report the matter to like the
Principal, parents,
yeah, stuff like that.
uh,
And Dahmer was like,
told him to bite it.
he's like, I'm experiencing a lot of problems, quotation marks, and the guidance counselor knew about it, and so I guess the teacher just let him go. And that same spring, his mom would move out the family house with his brother David to live with relatives in Wisconsin. So Dahmer just turned 19, and
What?
so later on, Dahmer turned 19, and he still remains in that family house, right? And so
By himself?
by himself. So the divorce was finalized on July 24th, 1978.
So his parents are shitty.
So his mom was awarded custody of their younger son with an alimony payments. So alimony payments are like if when you're separated by divorce, they still like your spouse will still pay you
Right.
for some reason.
My dad doesn't do any of that. No, he's like, no.
He's like, fuck nah.
Yeah.
So in June 1897, 18, what the hell? In June 1978, oh my god, thank god I caught myself. I was like, why does this sound weird? So this occurred like 3 weeks after graduating from his high school. So back then it's very common to hitchhike, right?
Okay.
So he picked up a 18-year-old
I've been
hitchhiker.
hitchhiking a lot. I like hitchhiking.
You like hitchhiking?
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe it's because you're a dude. I just can't hitchhike because like
You don't hitchhike. You should not hitchhike.
you should not. I don't want to hitchhike either.
I've been in a couple, like 2 bad situations hitchhiking.
Yeah.
But it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
Well, it's fine. I'm good now. So like
you're chill.
Yeah, all good. But don't hitchhike unless maybe not by yourself. Maybe hitchhike with other people.
I'm probably just never gonna hitchhike.
Yeah.
Cause like it is scary. Like
sometimes you meet some really cool people though, and they could, like you'd be surprised what people are willing to do if they're just cool. Like if someone wanted to hitchhike, I'd be like, okay, you can get in my car, and then we would go to Denny's, and then I would drop them off.
We should go to Denny's.
We should
go to Denny's.
One of these days.
One of these days. Whenever you're free, bro, hit me up.
Okay.
I feel bad asking people for rides, so I never ask.
Really? I don't care. I have to get my tire fixed. Whenever I get my tire fixed.
But I do. If I had a car, I love driving though. I do love driving.
Me too.
So yeah. So he's picking up a hitchhiker, an 18-year-old hitchhiker. He was almost 18. His name was Stephen Mark Hicks, right? And he took him home to his parents' house. So keep in mind, his parents are not here, right? So this house is empty. So Hicks was hitchhiking to a rock concert in Ohio.
Okay.
And I don't know what the rock concert was for.
That sounds awesome, man. I wish I could do that now. Like in this, man, people were so chill in the 70s because now you have to actually be really careful when you hitchhike. You can't let a cop see you doing it at all.
Oh, really? Is it illegal now or something?
Yeah. It's been illegal. Like you're not supposed to do it. Like especially after the 60s and the 80s, especially like the psychedelic movement, like the hippies time. Yeah. That was when people hitchhike all the time, and like it. Like some people did die because like that's always like if you're getting into a stranger's car, you have to exercise your own thought. Like, okay, it is safe? Like, is this a good car? But like it just became like isn't the reason hitchhiking is illegal? It's an anti-hippie thing. It's like the government showing like we don't like this movement. That's basically what happened. That's why it's illegal.
I didn't know that.
Anyway, that's my I mean, some people might not have that opinion, but that's why.
No, that's interesting. So. At the site of
last thing, because if you want to get a stranger's car, that's your choice, bro. It's America. I thought this was a land of the free, and now you're telling me
this is not the land of the free
to get into a stranger's car if I want to. If they're letting me, like, oh yeah, you can get in my car. Okay, thank you, stranger. They're like, oh no, you can't do that anymore. What? Anyway, keep going.
What if they're low key a chill dude?
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, what if her best friends are now?
Yeah, what if you become best friends? Like, what if they're like your future?
Is that hitchhiking now?
Yeah, but also maybe we shouldn't be telling you to hitchhike because I think this is gonna go really badly. You should keep going.
It can go.
Okay,
really
so they went to their home.
No. House. So Dahmer said the sight of Hicks' chest standing on the roadside stirred Dahmer's sexual feelings. I'm telling you, this dude is into torsos.
Yeah.
And like the chest area,
especially it does
on
something.
men. So I was like, oh, #freak. I say that when I know some people that be like turned on when they see that Vic.
No.
Gosh, you see his chest? Got quiet.
Yeah, man. Who said that?
Nasty hoe. I give my friend the side eye when I hear that, bro. I'll be like, okay.
You do a good side eye.
I do?
Yeah, you do. You
oh,
like...
shit. Maria said my side eye is vicious.
Okay, but what happened? They went to the family home. They went to Dahmer's house. Dahmer's house.
So Dahmer tried to get Hicks drunk.
Okay.
So Hicks would like talk about girls and stuff, and this caused Dahmer to be like
frustration. It's like fuck no, dude.
This was such a big turn off for him. It went.
He's like,
how I say this without being weird? It went from up to down. It just went flat.
It's like, whoa. No, man.
Yeah,
they were not matching each other's freak at all.
He got really turned off. So and then Dahmer just like kept on trying to get him drunk, and they would spend several hours talking and drinking and listening to music. And when Hicks
Wow,
would
dude, they're such good friends, dude. They're gonna be
I
such
guess
best
he's
friends, and they're gonna be best friends, and then Dahmer's gonna be like, you know what, man, I'm sorry, and then it's gonna get better from here. That's what's going to happen.
oh
I'm kidding. Keep going, keep going.
oh. So sorry, I'm also checking the time because I don't want you to be late.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
at class at 2.
So you gotta leave at 45, don't you? Or
Yes.
40? Yeah. Sorry, guys. Don't chill. We've been yapping for so long. You're such a yapper. I'm such a yapper. This is
Yeah,
a bad
sorry.
combo. I'm actually like kind of behind.
Really? No,
Yeah.
I figured I thought about that being an issue because like I do talk a lot.
No, it's okay. Me too, bro. I tend to get off topic. I have to hold myself back a lot.
Yeah.
So, Hicks would try to leave, and like Dom was like, "I don't want you to leave, bro. Don't leave me,
Yeah,
bro."
you should stay a little bit longer, man.
And so when Hicks was sitting down, Dom was like, "Oh shit, let me get up. I'm gonna go do something."
Mhm.
He's like, "All right, it's chill, bro." I'm like, "I'm gonna go get more drinks."
Mhm.
Dahmer would get a 10-pound dumbbell and just back of
Oh,
his head when he was sitting twice. Hicks fell unconscious, and Dahmer would strangle Hicks to death with the barbell of the dumbbell. Right?
okay.
Did you felt that? You're
I
like,
don't know. I just like I'm trying to.
you're like that. I can't. I just it's like that one
I
monkey that
can't
goes
think
like,
about this. It's like what? No, head hurt.
what? Head hurts. That's funny. So Dahmer would
Strick him
strick.
on the noggin, on the dome.
He would strip Hicks' body before exploring his chest with his hands. God, what
Okay.
a freak! And ugh, he would start jerking it on top.
Okay.
Dick
Okay.
on top of your
Yeah.
chest, bro.
Yes, bro.
Yes.
Can I get that one more time? What did he do? No.
He started jerking it.
Okay. And then what happened? It's like Evangelion. It's like Shinji. For any Evangelion fans watching this, they'll know the reference.
I can't believe you made that reference, bro. Shinji.
Okay, keep going. Keep going.
So it would be an hour later to where he would drag the body to the basement.
Mhm.
And the next day, he would dissect and dismember Hicks' body in his basement, packing the body parts in plastic bags. He would bury Hicks' remains in a shallow grave behind his parents' house. They're still not there. Remember that.
Yeah.
This is an empty house. He would later dig up Hicks' remains and cut off the flesh from his bone. He would dissolve the flesh in acid before flushing the solution down the toilet. For some goddamn reason, freak. Dahmer would crush his bones with a sledgehammer and scatter them around the wooded ravine behind his family home. Dahmer threw
Whoa.
away Hicks' necklace and the knife he used to dismember him from the
Yeah.
West Bath Road Bridge into the river. So that was like 3 weeks after his graduation. After high school, 6 weeks before Hicks' murder, Dahmer's father and fiance came home and they found Dahmer been. Oh wait, no, 6 weeks after.
Okay.
After, not before. Sorry,
Yeah.
my fault. My fault.
Yeah, 6 weeks later.
Yeah, they found out that Dahmer has been living alone, and they're like, you're going to college. So
Yeah.
Dahmer
They
enrolled.
found out Dahmer was living alone?
I don't even know how.
Dude,
Like
what were
you
they
found.
doing? What were they doing?
He
dude?
has a fiance now. What do you think he's doing?
Oh, damn.
So Dahmer was like enrolled into Ohio State University (OSU),
Okay.
hoping to major in business.
That's weird.
It's interesting. I thought he was gonna like major in chemistry.
Yeah,
or some shit.
chemistry or like
Yeah,
something
because
that
like
he
you
liked.
can like from all
Yeah,
these like
maybe
freaky
maybe he
stuff.
thought like, oh, make money,
I
easy.
don't know.
That's what a lot of people who go into business think. Sorry,
Mm.
business majors. I don't know if that's you. If that's you, that's fine.
I mean, like I feel like you have to be really good to like make big money too.
I think so too, but I
Mhm.
guess we'll see.
So during the term, Dahmer was completely unproductive and it was large because of his alcohol abuse.
Yeah.
Again, so he would receive failing grades in these classes: Introduction to Anthropology, Classical Civilization. I don't even know what that class is.
Yeah.
And
have a
Administrative
class.
Science. Right.
Mhm.
The only course he was doing well in, riflery.
Riflery. That's a course that you can take. That's
I
cool.
don't know. It's giving serial killer.
Yeah. I wonder
So
why.
his overall, I wonder why his overall GPA was 0.45 out
Damn,
of
dude.
4.
This guy's dumb as hell.
Ain't no way, bro. Ain't no way. So Dahmer's dad paid a surprise visit,
Hmm.
only to find his room overflowing with empty liquor bottles.
Oh God.
So Dahmer would drop out of OSU after 1 quarter term, even though his father paid for his second term.
No.
So in January 1979, so he's 19 now,
Mm.
Dahmer would be enlisted in the army because of his father's urging, and he would occasionally be dismissed for intoxication while stationed at Fort Sam Houston.
Mm-hmm.
So Dahmer would, at one occasion, commit a instance of insubordination,
Okay.
which resulted in his entire platoon being punished. So insubordination is where you refuse to listen to orders, right?
Yeah.
And so
he caused everyone that was with him to get punished for it.
So they all beat him up because they're like, "Hey, fuck you, bro."
Yeah.
And so on July 1979, he was deployed in West Germany, where he served as a combat medic, and it was believed he was believed to be average or slightly above average as a soldier. So his military service was all right. I mean, his drinking problems caused his performance to deteriorate over time. And so in March 1981,
that's pretty good that he could be an average or above average soldier after drinking.
I don't even know how, bruh.
I mean, good for him, I guess. That's something.
So
I just got a job.
You just got a job, me too, twin.
Good job.
Where? On campus?
Yes.
Where?
IT. The IT department. It's like, yes, bro. But I'm a cyber engineer, so it probably, I don't know.
I'm gonna be in parking enforcement. You guys better start watching your cars. I'm gonna come after your cars.
Dude, I got a parking ticket yesterday.
That was not me.
Thank you.
That was not me. I'll tell
you
you
that.
If
you see a black car, it's an Acura, just turn the other way.
Turn the other way?
Yeah.
We'll have to make a deal with you, bro.
Okay. I'll see what I go to my first day like Thursday, so I'll tell you what I can actually do. Okay.
Anyways, but yeah, so he would be deemed unsuitable for military service later on due to and had and he had an honorary discharge.
He did?
He got an honorary discharge.
For?
He didn't get discharged like normally. It was honorary.
Discharge.
I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, because that means you did something.
He didn't.
He didn't? Oh.
This was because his supervisors didn't believe that any problems any problems he had in the army would be applied to his civilian life.
Really?
Yeah, and she just got an honorary discharge. I was like,
I see.
Ain't no way, bro.
That's weird. A lot of serial killers as well, a lot of stories you hear about them is
they've been in the army.
They something like that, or they just barely slipped by. A lot of people just kind of turned the other way because they were just whatever, even though there was a lot of warning signs. That happens a lot, actually. I mean, in order for someone to get to that point, it's like survivors survivorship bias, because if they got to that point, obviously there was a lot of points where they could have been caught and just weren't. So every time you hear about a serial killer, you hear 5 different stories of them about to be caught, and then for some reason someone's like, "Nah, man, you're all right.
I'm not gonna lie. I think this might be a 3-parter.
Really? I'm so sorry.
Weird. No, it's okay. This is a long case. It's a hefty case. So later on, German authorities would investigate possible connections with Dahmer and these murders that took place in Germany, because they're like, oh shit, he's a serial killer.
Yeah, and he was in Germany.
It was believed to not take any victims while serving in the armed forces, right?
Well, at least good for him.
Yeah. So when he was discharged, he would return back to Ohio, and he would return home, and his father and stepmother insisted in him doing numerous chores to occupy his time while he looked for work. So he would still continue to drink heavily, and 2 weeks later, he'd be arrested for drunk and disorderly conduct.
Oh, no.
So his father tried to get him off alcohol, but decided in December 1981 to send him to live with his grandmother. Okay. So this is when he was 21. And his grandmother is Catherine Dahmer, and she lives in Wisconsin. And she's the only family member who displayed any positive affection towards him.
Really?
Yeah. So, like I said, what we were talking about earlier about is his grandparents insane or something? They weren't. Well, not her. I don't know about the others. Dahmer's father hoped that
this one was sweet.
Yeah, he hoped her influence would change, and the change of location might persuade him to quit drinking, find a job, and live responsibly. Right?
Be normal.
Chill the fuck out. Yeah, bro, you going too hard now.
Yeah, now you gotta pull the brakes a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, at first, Dahmer's living arrangements with his grandmother were, harmonious. So he would accommodate her to church, take her willingly do chores, actively sought out for work, abided by her house rules,
Mhm.
and Dahmer would continue to drink and smoke still though.
Oh, smoke like pot or
I think it's just normal smoking,
nicotine?
like cigarettes and
I
stuff.
gotcha.
So in 1982, Dahmer would find a job as a phlebotomist in Milwaukee's Mil- Milwaukee Milwaukee
Milwaukee.
Blood Plasma Center. So he would do the job for 10 months before he got laid off. So do you know what a phlebotomist is?
No.
I think I didn't. Oh shoot, that was the only thing I forgot to look up. But I believe a phlebotomist is somebody that draws blood.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Dahmer would remain unemployed for over 2 years, where
Mhm.
he lived off whatever money his grandma gave him.
Yeah.
And shortly after losing his job, he was arrested that summer for indecent exposure. So
No.
that's where you like
You flash
intentionally,
somebody?
yeah, you intentionally show your sexual organs in public. So on August 8th, 1982, in
Mhm.
Wisconsin State Fair Park, he was observed to be exposing himself on the south side of the Coliseum, which 25 people were present, including women and children. He was
No.
convicted and fined of $50 plus court costs. Yeah.
Yikes.
He was just
Well,
left off. They just slapped him on the wrist, and he, yeah. So on January 1985, so this was like when he was 25,
mhm.
Dahmer would be hired as a mixer at Milwaukee's chocolate factory. So yeah, we're gonna cut off here.
Yeah, I'm so
Actually,
sorry, fellas. I
no,
had
it's
to go to
okay.
class.
It's okay. So we're gonna cut off here. This actually might be a three-parter, but I will see if I can make this. I can. I don't want to. The thing is, I don't really want to shorten this case because it is a
It's just so
lot.
much, yeah.
It is a lot, and I feel like when I shorten it, I'm just like disregarding what happened to these victims.
Yeah.
So thank you for listening, and for the last 5 minutes, I will announce again the winners for Paper Tiger. So the winners for Paper Tiger will be on Instagram 90 underscore on 40 and Gwenny and the Jets.
Nice. Good job,
So
fellas.
good job. All right, thank you for listening. Bye
Bye.
bye.